All right, a new era of sports betting is here. So prediction market startup Kalshi has officially launched sports event contracts on its platform in all 50 states. Now you can trade the outcome of this weekend's NFL Conference Championships. Kalshi Trader is already betting on the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Washington Commanders. Meanwhile, Kalshi users are predicting, of course, that the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, will, yes, once again get the AFC title over the Buffalo Bills. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive is the co-founder, Tarek Mansour. Great to have you. And, you know, we were talking that you got your start really in the financial markets and then maybe weather. What drove you to sports?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, you know, a little bit of a sort of 6-month history. You know, last year we won our lawsuit against the U.S. government, the Biden administration, and we legalized election markets for the first time in the U.S. in 100 years. And that skyrocketed the company to explosive growth. So we did billions in volume, 2 billion plus on the election alone, scaled our customer base to millions of customers. And, you know, now our markets, the number of markets listed on Kalshi has absolutely exploded, 10x. So now we have more than 1,000 markets across politics, entertainment, culture, like the Oscars, weather, and as of yesterday, sports. So really, on the heels of that explosive growth, we're aggressively expanding now. And the approach we have as a company is we want to give what the people want.
Yeah, and the people have spoken. They wanted the election and they want sports. Before we talk about that, you mentioned just sort of the overall climate. I believe you're regulated by the CFTC. Yep. How have conversations with them going? And with a new administration in charge, do you think that regulation under that changes?
Look, I mean, I think our approach, and I've always been consistent, and we spent 3 years up front getting regulated. We didn't launch a single thing, doing nothing other than compliance regulation. Our approach is regulation and trust up front. And that's why we're actually only in first regulated marketplace, prediction market in the US. That's our approach. It's always been our approach, and that's consistent today. You know, everything we do is trust and regulation up front. And the sports market that we listed them on our CFTC regulated exchange.
Interesting.
Which makes it legal at the federal level.
Okay.
That's why we're legal in all 50 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and others.
I am an old school, old-fashioned girl where sometimes I get a little bit nervous about the betting. I believe that you should only bet what you're willing to lose.
Yeah.
Do you get a little bit nervous, though, and just sort of about the commoditization of betting and sort of normalizing it, even though there are probably youngsters out there who may or may not be losing a lot of money?
Look, I think what's exciting about, you know, or interesting, maybe interesting is a better word about financial services, is they bring a set of opportunities and a set of risks. Every single financial service. Yep. And it's always the case, even grain futures back in the day. And that's actually what built America. We take risks, and then those open up opportunities. And I think that applies to our election markets, that applies to our weather markets, our political markets, and our sports markets. Now, here's the difference. It's very important. On Kalshi, you're not trading or betting against the house. You're actually buying a financial instrument against other participants.
Yep.
And so you have a few things that are different in the dynamic. One, you know, you can win as much as you can. You don't get capped on wins like you do with traditional sports books. Two, you get fair and transparent odds because the odds are not determined by the book that you're trading against. It's a market driven. It's like the New York Stock Exchange.
So we feel like the odds aren't as stacked against me.
No, it's fair.
In a way.
Look, I mean, it's whatever the market wants to trade because we don't make our money if users lose. We make our money out of our small fees that we charge on top, but it doesn't matter who wins or loses. Anyone can win, and that's the beauty of the model. And then the last point I wanted to make is that you can also, you know, the point I say is this structure, you know, creates a better incentive or less conflicts of interest so that people basically trade more safely. Like the CFTC has a very strong customer protection regime. Yeah. And we strongly believe in that, you know. With the new sets of opportunities, we have risk and we need to manage these risks appropriately.
You talked about massive growth. Where are you going next?
You know, so right now we're basically obviously focusing on this launch. Sunday is going to be very, very big. We've already traded millions of dollars. Yeah. And we expect huge increase Sunday. We expect that to 10 to 50x, you know, within a few days. You know, look, I mean, it's been incredible because our customer base is so large. People are educated now. You know, people have been trading on executive orders signed by Trump, tens of millions a day.
Yeah, can we talk about some of this? So you said I could bet on who gets confirmed or not and what senator votes yes or no.
Yeah.
You said I could bet on whether there's a Bitcoin strategic reserve.
Correct.
I can bet on the number of executive orders.
Per day.
And I can bet on the number of people getting deported.
That too.
That is wild. So there's pretty much I could bet on anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, we have some limitations. Like, we don't do war, terrorism, assassination, violence, because those create perverse incentives. And we don't do things that are kind of like a matter of like, we generally focus on things that have economic value, things that are important to people.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty of the model, right? Like, people have been kind of pushed to trade things like stocks or options. They don't understand them. They don't relate to them. But people care about deportations. It matters. I mean,
well, it matters to the economy.
It matters to the economy.
Yeah.
It matters to people. It matters to their jobs. The number of executive orders, that's fundamentally an economic thing. If you put the politics aside, the executive orders, what they do is they open up economic opportunity, right? And that's the whole point.
So quickly, we just have a few minutes left. Fundraising rounds, plans to go public. Anything you can share with us?
It's interesting. Like, I get asked this question a lot, but I think as a company, and the reason we started a company is like we're obsessed about these markets. And what happened on the election night is people saw the mission that we see, which is what these markets enable over time, as you let people trade, put their money where their mouth is on these forecasts, is we get smarter about the future, which enables us all to get basically better about decision making and risk management. I hope that we live, and this is kind of part of the Don Jr. announcement, we live in a world where policy gets influenced by these types of markets over time.
And you're talking about the announcement where you named him as strategic advisor on your board.
Yes.
We have to go, but we got to do something fun to end it. Are people really, so I have Eagles at 33%, Washington Commanders 10%, Kansas City at 31%, Buffalo at 29%. Who are you betting on this weekend?
I can't trade. I run the exchange, so I can't
I know,
trade.
But without the who in your mind.
Look, I like the underdogs. I always like the underdogs.
Okay.
I see our company as an underdog, and we've been taking on all these challenges. So
I'm taking that as we're not going for Kansas City, because they are certainly not the underdog. I'm a Niners fan. I just want to see anyone but Kansas City win. This was fun.
Well,
Tarek
thanks for having
Mansour,
me.
thank you, and congrats on the success, and we'll be watching this weekend on Sunday.